Greetings and welcome to episode 20 of the Weekly Review, the weekly podcast for words about games, where we sit down and talk about the games that we've been playing. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, joined this week by an absolute bastard, Mr. Daffy Moody. How you doing?
It's Monday, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means. Amy's gonna complain about me.
You know what you did.
I did a lot of things last night, Amy. I won't lie. Which one are you specifically talking about here?
Yeah, okay. We're also joined this week by Elf Daughter Craft.
Hello.
It's plural, right?
Yes. Yes.
April.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I think this is the first time I've ever had you on my YouTube channel, outside of random Twitch highlights.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Hello.
Do the thing. What's it called? Hustle. Hustle. That's the thing.
Sell yourself.
Hello.
Tell us who you are, what do you do, etc.
I'm Elf Daughter Crafts. I stream on Twitch. I'm a crafter and a gamer, so I do a lot of variety streams, both on crafting, everything from crochet to knitting to cross stitch to basically everything you see behind me here. It's all crafts. And I stream regularly with both Amy and Moody on doing the Among Us streams on Saturdays. And I also stream other games such as Valheim. And various other games as well.
Yeah, we've heard about this game, Valheim.
Yeah.
We have heard about it.
And would you agree that Moody is an absolute bastard?
Well, yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you'll just have to see it in the highlights, I'm guessing.
That's a comment. No, you should definitely twitch.tv/elfdaughtercrafts. Go give her a follow. She's absurdly talented. I think I sent you a message like not 2 days ago, which said, "How dare you be so talented?"
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's also really chilled and relaxing, and we could all use a little bit of relaxation these days.
A little bit of relaxation, indeed. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. This is the part where we just normally talk shit, but I've got no shit to talk.
True. That is true. That is true.
Like,
should we talk about some games?
Let's talk about some games. We got 2 and a bit games to talk about this week. Our main 2 games are Persona 5 Strikers and Valheim. And then I think we're going to talk Little Nightmares. Maybe I'm going to squeeze in a little bit of Among Us at the end. Phil. I told him to watch this episode. He's going to have to wait till the end. Except there's timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube, so you can just skip to it if you want to skip to it. But the whole podcast is good, trust me. Let's just dive right in and talk about Persona 5 Strikers.
You are the Persona girl, Amy. There's no doubt about it. You love this franchise.
I do.
You've been waiting for a game in 2021 to literally make you go, thank you, God. Has this game made you go, thank you, God?
Yeah, it has. It made me realize I didn't have a Persona 5 t-shirt. Because I was like, I'm going to wear a Persona t-shirt. And then my Persona t-shirt is like old. So, very different. And I was like, no, it's fine. What have I got that's colourful? Then I was like, oh, that's too much choice. I'll wear the Nintendo t-shirt. Persona 5 Strikers is brilliant. Shocker, right?
There we go.
Done.
Let's
Next
get into
game.
Valheim
now. So it's a Musu game. Who here doesn't know what a Musu game is? Awesome. So you know, like Dynasty Warriors. You know what that is.
Dynasty Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors. Yeah. So like it's basically that's the type of gameplay it is. It's like you're the character and you fight your way through like dozens upon dozens of really weak enemies, and it feels really good because you're just slaughtering. You like Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. and that's translated across an entire game. And obviously, I knew that's what Persona 5 Strikers was going to be because I'd seen trailers. It surprised me because I just assumed it would be that, because it's made by the same studio. Like, they make Dynasty Warriors, Hyrule Warriors, Samurai Warriors, other games with warriors in the title, I presume. And I thought it was just going to be that kind of game with like you take the Persona and they just like stapled it on top, and that would be the game it was. And this is a full-blown sequel to Persona 5, which I was not expecting in the slightest. And it takes a lot of gameplay mechanics from Persona 5, which was a turn-based JRPG, and then translates them into the real-time combat of Persona 5 Strikers, and it does it really, really well. But yeah, like, the thing that surprised me the most was this is a continuation of Persona 5's story. Not like Hyrule Warriors was just like, hey, go beat some Zelda bad guys up, and, you know, it's not really a sequel or anything, or a continuation or anything. This is, it's the summer after Persona 5, and let's check in with the Phantom Thieves and see what they're doing now, and oh no, bad things are happening again. And that blew me away straight away. Like, wow.
Oh, that's very good. There's no doubt about it. I know you were hyped for this game. So, obviously, the last one was turn-based. This one is completely different for the combat. Does it work as good as you're making it sound to be?
So, like, I guess a part of it probably is determined by... Ooh, look, I've gone all posh. It's probably determined by if you like that style of gameplay. Like, but at the same time, as someone who generally plays a game like Hyrule Warriors for a few hours and has some fun and then gets bored, because I find these games to be repetitive. Sorry. I just do. I don't know, like, the Persona 5-ness of it, but also the touches in the combat meant that I'm still not bored. Like, I've been playing a ton of it, as Moody knows. And I will continue to play all of it because I want to experience the whole thing. Like, let me just scroll down. I'm using a combination of the Sherlock book and a phone today because I took some notes while I had some downtime through the day. So there's some notes, and then there's some notes on my phone. So I'm holding my phone in the book.
So the Sherlock app?
It's the Sherlock. Best running joke of Words About Games 2021 is how much I hate Sherlock. So, yeah, the combat's real time. It is very much reminiscent of a Musou game. But, like, if you've played Persona 5, all of the sort of the main mechanics of that combat, and for some reason I've left it a part of the gameplay footage where I saved my game. It's very responsible. You should save responsibly.
Should always save.
So those mechanics have been adapted into this. So, for example, baton passes. In Persona 5, there were moments where you could do an attack with one character in the party, and then you would have the opportunity to do a baton pass, which essentially you pushed a button, and then another character would do a follow-up attack. So it's like a neat mechanic for extra damage in Persona 5. And in Persona 5 Strikers, they've adapted the baton pass mechanic where it works the same way, where you'll suddenly have an alert that one of the characters in your party is like, hey, I could do a follow-up attack, and you push the button, and they do the follow-up attack, but then the control switches from that one, the first character to the next character, and then you continue on fighting as the second character. So there's like 8 characters, I think, in the party, and they're all playable, and they're all great.
Are they all different and unique styles?
Very different and unique styles, yeah. So again, it's adapted from Persona. You've played JRPGs before, right? So, like, you know, like, different characters will have different strengths, weaknesses. You got the healer, you got the tank, damage, all that shit. And so, like, the different characters will have different weapons, different fighting styles. They'll have personas that use different elements, which will come in handy because even though it's a Warriors game, you can still pause it to unleash magic and skills and whatnot on big groups of enemies. And if you can find their elemental weakness, knock them over. You can do an all-out attack, which is another thing from the original Persona, where if you knock an enemy down, you push the button, and then it does this awesome, overly stylized fucking animation thing where everybody just goes ba 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 ba. It'll be on the screen at some point, and you do a shit ton of damage. Like, Persona is just so stylish. It needs to be seen to be believed. So yeah, they all feel really different to play. So I have my favorites and whatnot, but you generally tend to there's a all-out attack. You generally tend to use all of the characters as you're playing, just naturally.
Well, that's good. Like I said, I think what seems like what's working for you is that they were able to give all their characters a different, unique style. Because if I remember rightly, last style of this game that I played for this was all the people played very much similar and the same, and I was just like, no wonder this is very repetitive. But because they're all different and unique, it's keeping that change up for you. I'm guessing for keeping it fresh long enough for you.
Yeah,
but also you have got the love for the franchise as well.
I mean, yeah,
so
right. Like,
I'm
I'm not going to ignore my biases of being like, this is Persona 5 2, sort of. So it is just like, hey, remember that game? That's one of your favorite games of the entire last decade. We made another one.
We did it again.
Cool, I'm in. Yeah. So that's the combat.
Is the animation still the same?
Yeah,
looks like
the same.
What I've seen.
It's the same art style. It's the same. It's a lot of the same enemies. Like the foot soldiery enemies are all they're all taken from Persona 5. So funnily enough, I knew a lot of the weaknesses already. Like, there's mechanics in there to figure out the weaknesses of different enemies, but I'd get to a point where I'd be like, oh, this new enemy has turned up, and I'd be like, wait a minute, and then I'd pull my gun out and go bam, and it'd be like, weak, you hit a weak point, and I'd be like, yeah, I did, because that's how that works in the RPG.
I knew you were going to say that. I was going to say, I remember that before you were weak to ice.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, yeah. Well, it seems like they've done the same thing with what the last Yakuza game did. They changed up the battle style and it freshened it up for a lot of people. So
yeah, this is very much that whole. I imagine, because I know how, kind of knowing how Omega Force works with its licensed games. I imagine the creative director was like, I love Persona, and then just called Sega and just went, listen, I know you're being bought by Microsoft right now, but hear me out. I want to make a Persona Warriors game. And then you can feel that admiration or that reverence for the game, for the original game in this new game, because of how well it's been adapted. Whereas you play something like Dynasty Warriors 9 and you're just like, why did you do this?
Why did you do this to my characters? Persona always is praised for its story and its characters. How's that going for you? Is it still going well, keeping it with the coreness?
Yes, definitely. So it's a sequel, which again I wasn't anticipating.
They kept that under wraps, it seems like.
Yeah, they did.
I think a lot of people are thinking this was just going to be another, maybe a spin-off or whatever.
Yeah, what you tend to find with Warriors games or spin-offs like this in Japan, because the Japanese game dev scene does this a lot, where it's it's a spin-off in a completely different genre. So it's like Dragon Ball. How many times have you played a Dragon Ball Z video game and it's just the Dragon Ball Z anime?
They don't want to touch the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, it's just wait, hold on. Oh, I know exactly what's going to happen here. God damn it, Gohan, not again.
How many times do I have to beat up Cell?
Yeah.
With an 11-year-old boy.
My final form. I know.
We know this already.
But yeah, it causes one slight issue, not for me, but I don't know how this is a game made for people who haven't played Persona 5. Because I'm assuming you guys haven't played Persona 5.
No.
No, you
No,
should.
it's gonna be interesting because I have ordered to rent this.
Well, you should play Persona 5. It's amazing.
It's on my list. It's on my list.
It's so good. It's long, though.
Yeah, but when Amy said she's played over 100 hours for it and still hadn't completed it, April, I was like, no.
It's a very, very long game. You don't really feel the time.
I have 100 hours in my life for one game anymore.
Valheim.
I'll ask you how long you've played Among Us in about 6 months. So that is interesting because I think you can follow the main story quite easily, even if you haven't played Persona 5, because it's a very much a new, like it's new villains, it's a new type of threat, while still like drawing from the original game in that regard. So like anything that you miss in terms of the main story you'd get from context clues. The thing is, you've had like 100 hours with these characters. And there's a lot of references to things that happen in Persona 5, which is amazing because I played Persona 5 and I loved every minute of it.
I remember playing you.
But I feel like someone like Moody picks Persona 5 Strikers up and plays it. There's going to be like long stretches of conversation where you're just going to, or like long stretches of just things that happen in the game where you'll just be like, what? Like the scene in Dogma where Jay meets God. And he's just like, he's what the fuck is that? Who the fuck are you? What the fuck happened to that dude's head? And you're just going to be like, why can this cat turn into a bus? Why is everybody so mean to this guy? What's this guy even talking about? Droning on about art. Droning on about art like he's a fucking, you know what I mean? Like he's a pretentious douchebag. It's just like, why does this one character, you know what I mean? Like I feel like there's going to be a lot of stuff like that, which is explained by me knowing everything that happened in Persona 5 versus Sony who doesn't. But that aside, yes, the story is great. There's some new characters. Fun fact, there's like a Persona 5 version of Siri in this game. It's like a part of the plot point. Voiced by the woman who did the voice for Siri. It's called Emma. And I thought that was an interesting fact. But the new characters are awesome. The story arc's great. Like Persona 5 has a lot of heart. And Strikers does too. And just getting to like watch, because we'll talk about the social management side of the game in a bit, because spoilers, doesn't have one. But the like just like watching the characters sort of interact with each other and like just getting to like hang with the Phantom Thieves again, it's just great. It's like coming home. Like within about I think 30 to 60 minutes of the game, and everybody's in the hideout and just hanging out and chatting, and I was just like, oh, this is so what I needed right now. Like,
that's good.
Yeah.
So what you just said about the social ones, they don't have any, you say?
Yeah, so a huge part of Persona 5 was everything was done on a for starters, everything was done on a calendar. So like you had the morning and the afternoon to do things, and you had to choose what you were going to do. And one of those things was social links, they were called. So you could increase your bond with the main characters and like a bunch of side characters as well. Which, it gave you some game. I'm not going to go into the whole system of how Persona 5 worked because, we'll be here for a while. But basically, it gave you side quests. It gave you it meant that all of these different characters had stories to go through, and it gave you some gameplay benefits and stuff like that as well. They're not important in this context, but basically, like it would, like if you imagine, like you have a day planner, and it's like, cool, I have this time in the morning, and these are the things I can do, and you have to choose what to do, and then you focus on, well, maybe I'll do this thing to increase one of my stats, or I'll do this thing to talk to Ryu. I'll go hang out with Ryuji somewhere, and then we'll trigger a cutscene, and the bond will go up and stuff like that. None of that's here, because this is obviously a more streamlined, action-y experience. So it's a lot more straightforward. and the lack of side stories is a bit, because I always like a good character-driven side story. I like my characters fleshed out, but at the same time, these characters are pretty fleshed out at this point. Like for me, and
it will be if just because you've played over 100 hours of the first one, so.
And there are a lot of cutscenes in this game. So like I don't feel like we're getting shortchanged. Like I still get to see the characters all interacting with each other. And I get to tease Morgana about being a cat. Again, that makes sense if you play Persona 5. So like it's definitely a miss, but it's not a huge, it's not a game breaker. It's not a deal breaker, is what I meant to say. What haven't I mentioned yet? Does anyone have any other questions? Elfie, I love your headphones.
Thank you very much. Talking about being a cat here.
Yeah. Mine just says HyperX on the top.
What's not working for the game for you? Other than what you've just said there, which is a little bit disappointing. Obviously, no side quests and everything.
I feel like that was it. Puzzles are very much just, this terminal needs power. There are 3 power generators. Go find them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's just so you can run through and do more fights. So it's an enabler of the combat, which is really cool. Can I be too mad at that? Probably not.
No, really. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Like I say, you're enjoying the game. It's hitting all the spots for you. Like you've been craving for a game to make you go, "Thank you, God," or something like that.
I mean, yeah, right. It's just like
you've been wanting a good game. Like you've been complaining a little bit, saying you haven't had a good game. Obviously, for the new that's come out this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bloodborne. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, and she can only play Bloodborne so many times.
Was that you want me to talk about Bloodborne?
There's an hour and a half video. Go and check that out.
Yeah, it's fine.
Link in the description.
Like Bowser's Fury was great, and it was almost there, and Hitman 3 was great, and it was almost there, but like at this point in 2020, I'd gotten Dreams. So I'd already been sort of like blown away by a game in 2020 at this point. So I was just like, I need something to love. Like, I feel like the only reason I beat Bowser's Fury was because it was short. Not necessarily because it had me. Like, it just put its hand on my face and was just like, you're going to finish me because you're having such a good time. And that's what Persona 5 Strikers has done.
Good.
And some of that will definitely be because of my Persona 5 fandom-ishness. But some of it is because it's a great game.
Yeah, well, that's the good thing. Like about it, I always say is like you got your lover of a property, and you get new games come out, and it's hit what you needed.
Like Yakuza last year.
Yeah, it'd be disappointing if you were saying, "Why did they do this? Why?"
Yeah, not thank you God, but why God? Why?
Yeah. And that would be the worst thing for you. Like, but no, what I've said, there's a nice little trend that I'm seeing from like Japanese companies. Like they took like I'd already said, Yakuza, they changed it up last year in their battle system. This one has changed it up. They were Western developers. How about change up some of your sequels, battle combat? You might actually stand out a little bit more.
Assassin's Creed developers.
Yes.
Any open world game developer, do something new.
From Software, put an accessibility option in there.
I thought we were going to fight there, but no, you're you're all right.
And give Amy Bloodborne too.
Yes, please, God. Yeah, it'll shut me up.
And Joseph and Foster's, they're kind of like crying out for it right now.
Well, we've all got good taste. What can I say?
Exactly.
Well, I haven't played them, so I can't comment. I'm just trying to be nice.
This is knocked Persona 5 up I make a video about this game. That's Persona 5 is just rocketing towards the top of the list somehow, mysteriously.
That's great. That's great.
Also, the music's amazing, but like Jesus Christ, there's some like they've redone so there's the old music, which is phenomenal, and there's some new music, which is also great, but they've also redone some of the old tracks in a new style. So like the last surprise, one of the fight songs, they've redone it in a sort of a more metal-y sort of rock way. And when I heard it for the first time going into a battle, and I heard it, and obviously I've listened to the original song roughly 9,000 times, so I obviously instantly recognized it, but also instantly recognized what was happening. I feel like that was the closest I'm ever going to get to a religious awakening. My God.
A religious awakening.
I felt things.
Wow.
When I heard the opening bars, I was like, oh my God. It's not on Spotify though, so
it'll be there eventually.
I'm devastated. Yeah, they just released the
I'm
Final
sure
Fantasy VII remake soundtrack on Spotify.
That's why they thought we can't throw too many out for her. This might break her. We need to throw one at a time here.
One at a time is good. Yeah, it gives me time to really love it. Like Persona 5 was only a couple of months ago on Spotify, and I've been listening to that a lot because it's great. Just like the games, plural.
Fabulous. So, what your quick final thoughts overall before we move on to Valheim? Valheim. I got there.
Valhalla. No.
Valhalla. Well,
quick final thoughts. Thank you, God.
2021 is saved for aiming in the Gameverse.
2021 finally started.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm supposed to play Bravely Default too, like a bit.
I was curious by that, because we both said ourselves that's the game we're talking about next week.
Yeah.
Are you going to pull yourself away from Persona 5 Strikers?
So, should we talk about Valheim?
Yeah, I like how you've avoided my question.
Yeah, nice avoidance.
What are you talking about? Oh. Right? I'm wearing the Nintendo T-shirt, right? Like, it's a Nintendo game. I'm sure I'll play it sometime in the future. Yes, I will play enough for it. I will play enough to talk about it. But there's nothing coming out the next week. The week, not next, but you know what I mean, like next week. So I have a whole week to finish Persona 5 Strikers.
Yeah. Right now we're pretty much on a break until the end of March.
And you might be. Mate, if you think I've been insufferable about Bloodborne and Persona 5 Strikers, just remember Nier Replicants for coming out soon.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've got that down to rank.
There are sequels, spin-offs, and remakes of all of my favorite 2017 games.
And I've got a remake of the Sinnoh region for Pokemon. I'm so happy. Thank you, Nintendo.
Yeah. Thank you, God.
Chimcha.
I don't know anything about Pokemon.
That's true.
I played Sword and I was like, it's pretty good. But
wait, what? I can't get the pony?
God, don't get me wrong. Why? But yeah, let's stay on target. As much as we do around here.
Stay on target.
Averill.
Yes.
You've been playing Valheim. Moody said he was going to play Valheim. He went as far as buying it.
I played an hour of it.
An hour.
I played an hour of it.
Poor baby. 100 plus for me now, right
Bloody
now.
Hell,
Jesus.
Yep.
Oh, no, 29 minutes.
29 minutes. 29 minutes he's played.
Yep. Came out on the...
Could have got Foxes on this. He says he's played 36 hours of it.
I brought the Valheim expert, okay?
That's true.
So yes, it came out on the, 20-something? And I've played 100+ hours of it now.
I don't know. It's this year's.
Absolutely incredible.
It's this year's first Phasmophobia / Among Us / Fall Guys, because no one will stop talking about it, and everybody's bought it.
4
They've
million
hit over
people.
4 million people now. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I guess my first question is, what the hell? That's it. What the hell? The hell is this thing?
First thing that got me interested in it was I'm a historical nerd, so the fact that it was Vikings just drew me in straight away. So it is a Viking survival crafting game. The basic general premise is that you are a Viking who has died, and instead of going to Valhalla, Odin has taken your soul to this world where you are tasked with killing the 5 baddies, basically. There are certain massive bosses who you have to go and kill. I've managed to get through 2 of them first. The first one is, and I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, Eikthyr, I think its name is, which is basically a stag-headed beast. And then the second one is known as the Elder, which is basically like a tree ant, basically like a treebeard type creature.
They're all treebeard?
Yeah, you have to kill treebeard. He's bloody difficult to kill. Basically, they're all creatures and things that are inspired by Viking and Norse mythology. So there are trolls, there are sea serpents, there are dragons. But there are grey dwarfs, but there are also other more sort of generic beasts that are the basics. So where in some games you would have like giant rats, you have boars, you have what are called necks, which are like types of lizards that attack you. There are specific biomes, so you are like Subnautica, where you start off in the safe shallows. You start off in the meadows, which are still quite dangerous, but there's the boars, there's the necks, there's the grey dwarfs, but there's more sort of it's more sort of safe. So you can start up by building your settlement there, your home, your base, your farm, whatever. You can do you really can do whatever you want to do in it. If you want to go and kill the bosses, you can. If you want to concentrate on building, you can. And that's what I love about it, is the building, the crafting, and that sort of aspect. Or if you've had a bad day and you want to go and kill a troll, you can.
And who hasn't taken a bad day out on a poor digital creature?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's true. I think we've built our lives off it.
We've definitely built a YouTube channel out of it.
That's true, yeah.
What I particularly love about it, and this is about the crafting side of it, is in a lot of games like sort of Minecraft, for example, you can build a structure, you can knock the base out, and it stays floating in midair. I love the physics of it. So in this game, it is actually tied to physics. If you try and build a base too high, it will start collapsing unless you've got proper supports in there. It's very, very grounded in reality in that respect. But also you can do, you can craft stuff out of troll hides, etc. And they're updating it constantly. So there's a new update coming out, I'm not sure when, which is the Hearth and Home aspect, Hearth and Home update. So they're actually updating the building aspect of it and bringing in new stuff. They're bringing in stuff about ships, they're bringing in new biomes, and there's updates. They haven't just said, right, there's the alpha, and we'll see you in 6 months with a new update. They're updating it constantly. And for an indie developer, which, with 4 million players, I think they're doing a really, really good job, and I'm absolutely addicted to it.
It's in early access, right?
It is early access, yes.
Yeah.
And there are bugs. For the odd flying deer.
I'm sorry, I'm watching your footage as you talk.
But that's what I think allows it its wide berth right now, that they've marketed this right. This is early access, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be buggy. And we're hoping that you will be patient but also have fun. And thankfully, well, 4 million bloody people
are having a lot of fun right now.
You're doing something right, that's for sure. There's no doubt about it. I've seen some incredible stuff built.
You should see.
I've had a look on YouTube.
You should see Elfie's stuff.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
Thank you.
I've seen it. It's
insane. I mean, I've got a farm built on a community server, which has been built. You know, obviously, with it being a community server, you can't build in creative mode. So it's been built from scratch, farming for stuff, and I've got my own server as well, where I'm building in creative mode, so I can just build. I still have to be, the physics still work, but it doesn't cost anything, so I don't have to go and farm for materials. I can just build. But on the community server, I've had to go and farm for the materials, and I've got a farmhouse built. I've got a workshop. I've currently got boars which are breeding. So I've got little piggies running around. I've got a pack of wolves now that I've tamed. I've got. There are some. The farm that I've set up is actually on the border of 3 different biomes. Because there are some things that can only be, like, for example, barley, you can only grow in a certain biome. So I've actually built my base on that border. So I've got a long bridge that leads to the other biome where I've got which is actually quite a dangerous biome, where I'm growing my barley.
Nice.
And I'm basically the farmer for the server. Which is great fun.
Get off my land, that kind of farmer.
Yeah. Especially when a group of locks, a herd of locks, which are basically like giant buffaloes, come tramping by, and they can take down a stone wall, which is one of the strongest defenses in the game. They can take down a stone wall in one swipe. And there's about 6 of them, and 2 of us took down the entire herd.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It is great. It's completely addictive, and like I say, it's one of these games where you can do whatever you want. And I think that's what makes it different from most survival games I've played, where it feels like a grind to go and get stuff. Whereas this, you can build with just wood, and if you find a place to build that is either in the meadows, which has loads of trees, or in the Black Forest, which is that's like the next level up in terms of biome. It's a bit more dangerous, but there are tons of trees around. And I've seen some amazing builds. I've attempted the treehouse build, but there are certain rules about beds and fires. So when you build a house, you have to have obviously a bed, which was your spawn point, but for it to work, it has to be near a fire. And of course, you can't build a fire on wood because it won't actually burn your place down, but they work it like it would. Okay. It has to be either on the ground or on stone. So yeah, I mean, I could put a stone floor in the middle of a treehouse, but you know what's going to happen there, don't you?
That's true, yeah.
Straight down. It does work. Yeah, exactly. Everything has to be supported properly. And yeah.
It looks really nice.
It does. I love the graphics. It's got that sort of so your character and when you get close up to other characters, it's got that low polygon feel, but the actual environment of the game is just stunning, and the volumetric lighting really, really makes it.
It's got better guardrails than Fallout 76.
Yeah,
they come out of the sky.
Yeah, exactly. They've actually, the environments and like you were saying about the music with Persona, the music is fantastic. It's got different music for the different biomes, different music for the boss fights, and the boss fight for the Elder, which was the second one, was absolutely epic. Really, really epic music on that one. But it's just in the meadows. I mean, it's on a loop, but I would listen to it all day because it's just such beautiful music. And then when night comes, it goes a bit more suspenseful because that's when night is when all the monsters come out. And the other thing as well is the raids. So once you've built a base, you do have to make sure that it is fully defended because there will be raids happening on your base. On my own personal single player game, I'm only on day 6 or day 7 or day 8 on that. I've started that many different games. So I haven't had a raid there, but on the community server, we're on day 500 and something. And we're getting raids, like, loads. And the raids can be so many different things. So you'll just see a notification comes up that says something along the lines of a cold wind blows from the north. And the next thing you know, you've got dragons overhead. Or the ground is shaking and there's trolls coming in. Or a foul smell from the swamp and it's a skeleton raid. So there's so many different events that you can do that can spawn and that can happen, which I absolutely love.
Oh, that sounds really good. I'm intrigued by the idea of creative mode because.
Yeah, creative mode's good. It's not a button you can press. It's a little bit cheeky way of getting into it.
Right.
So, for example, but the devs have said themselves that they want you to play it however you want. So if you're just playing a single player game, they're like, yeah, sure, you can do creative mode, no problem at all. Here's how you do it. Which is, I'm sure they'll actually implement a button soon that says creative mode, just click. At the moment, you actually have to press F5, type in, I'm a cheater. Which, yeah, I love. And then that activates cheat mode, which then you then go hit debug mode, which then activates obviously debug mode. And then once you come out of that, you just press B, and then that basically activates build mode, which means you can do it without cost. Build without cost. You can also type in God, which enables God mode. There is a way to fly, but I haven't figured that out yet. I'm sure I'll find out.
Mighty hammer.
Yes,
human Thor's hammer.
There is actually something in game which allows you to actually do something similar, which is the abyssal harpoon, which means you can actually. I haven't done it myself, but I've seen somebody do it. They shot the harpoon, attached it to a sea serpent, and just rode along behind it.
Respect.
Which, yeah. I want to try that with a dragon. I think I probably
do it.
Yeah, I think I might try that.
Doing that, just so you know that,
right? Yes, I will definitely be doing that in creative mode, in God mode. But yeah, I will. Well, as soon as I get to the deep north, I'll be dead if I'm not in creative mode.
Yeah.
If Terrastar Targaryen can handle 3 dragons, so can you.
Targaryen.
Hilarious, that's it. So many weird names on that show. What are you wearing?
Yeah, like that's the reason I play No Man's Sky for like a week and then stop. It's always because it's like, oh, now I have to go and get 700 carbon to continue building, and like, you know, my base is not insignificant.
Yeah.
But Jesus, the effort it took just to build that was. And then you go online and someone goes, "Here's my recreation of Rapture from BioShock," and I'm just like, "Oh fuck no!"
Yeah.
You're just like, oh good God!
Oh my God! I thought my base was good.
Oh, somebody built the Millennium Falcon in Valheim. Which is absolutely incredible. They rebuilt it, the Millennium Falcon, inside and out, which is incredible.
People have too much time on their hand right now, I think.
Yeah,
too much spare time. My goodness. I feel like I'm going to check that out. I'm going to check that out after I'm leaving it.
It took me a week just to build my farm, you know.
It's a very nice farm. Yeah. That's what's on the screen, by the way. Alfie donated a walkthrough of our farm for the gameplay for everyone watching on YouTube.
Fabulous.
And
we also built a community centre as well. Yeah.
Community centre. So basically, what you're telling me is you build in Stardew Valley.
Yeah, basically. So with our with our community server, we basically have there's the spawn point where everyone starts. Then you can build portals for easy access to places.
Some of those weird Stargate-looking things are.
Yes. So the portals are really useful. So in order to get around the map, you either have to walk or build a ship and sail, which both are dangerous because obviously there's monsters, there's trolls, there's dragons, etc. On land, and then in the sea there's the sea serpents, which are impossible to get past unless you have a harpoon. So once you've actually found a new island, because the map is huge, it's a whole world. It's not just one locked landmass. There's islands all over the place. And once you find a specific area, like say the swamp, for example, you can build a portal. So once you've found that place, you can build a portal, you can name it, you go somewhere else, you build another portal, you name it the same, and then those two portals link. So with the walkthrough that I sent, we started off in the spawn point, went through the portal to the community centre, which has all the portals to all the other islands that we've found. And then upstairs we've got personal portals to where we've got our different different homes. And then we've got the community centre, which is basically, it's got everything inside in terms of all the forges, all the workspaces, all that sort of thing. And it was actually May, who was one of the girls who's on the server with me, sort of did the outside of the build, and then I did all the interior, well, most of the interior, for the community centre. But the actual farm itself, that was all just me. But that's what we love about it, is particularly on a community server where there's more of you. There's about, I think on our server there's about 10 of us. We've all sort of just taken on roles that we enjoy doing. So there's some people who love going exploring and finding new places and putting the portals in. There's some people who love doing the bosses and killing all the animals and bringing back the meat, etc. Some people just love some people just love like cooking it all up, because you can make so many different recipes as well, which is, so in a way it's a bit like Legend of Zelda in that respect, with all the different recipes that you can do. And then there's people like me who just love building and creating new things. I've built a watchtower. I've built a farm. Now I've finished that, I'm going to move off to do something else. I'm probably going to do a logging shack somewhere. And I'm actually, on my own personal server, I'm starting to build an entire village. Which, yeah, I'm just trying different styles and different things. Some are going to be in stone, some are going to be in wood. I'm going to do a tavern, that sort of thing.
Nice.
It's totally addictive. It really is.
Sounds it. I have two questions, if you don't mind, Moody. I have two actual questions. Dumb questions about Stargate. How severe, that might not be the right word, but how severe are the survival mechanics?
Pretty lax. So you do have to eat. You don't have to drink. You are classed as dead. So you don't. Although you have to eat. It's not to survive. It's only to bring your health up and your stamina up. So if you don't eat, your health drops to a maximum of 25, which is the highest it'll go unless you eat more. So the food that you create gives you different buffs. So if you create, say, sausages, you've got three slots if you like in terms of food. So you can eat 3 different types of food, which last for a certain amount of time. So when you're just starting off the game, you probably just eat cooked meats, raspberries and blueberries, which are easily found in the different biomes. As you progress through the game, you learn different recipes. So you learn how to cook sausages, queen's jam, various different stews, that sort of thing, and they give you more health and for longer. So if you fill yourself up on, say, turnip stew, sausages and queen's jam, you'll probably get health of up to about 135 from that base of 25. So although it's survival mechanic, it's not necessary to actually, you're not going to get a penalty for not eating or not sleeping or not drinking. You don't have to do that at all if you don't want to. There's one person who, because she just concentrates on building and doesn't go out fighting, she doesn't bother to eat at all. She just stays with that base level of 25. Yeah.
I don't know how much you could get done if you didn't need to stop to eat and sleep. How's the combat?
Good. Very good. Like I said, I've done a couple of different bosses now, and very much when you first start out, you do skill level up. So you can choose whether you want to concentrate on swords, two-handed, bows, dagger, lance, shield, all that sort of thing. You can choose what you prefer, maces, etc. And as you level up, obviously your skills increase with those, so you're able to take on more powerful enemies. The combat itself is really balanced. I love it. It pretty much is just button mashing. You've got a primary attack, a block, and a secondary attack. But it's really good in that it's tailored to your level. So if you are low levels and you're staying in the meadows, you'll probably find that as you level up, you start to kill grey dwarfs in 1 or 2 hits, which is great because they actually drop loads of loot. But then you can progress. You can go on adventures and go into the other biomes like the Black Forest, the Swamp, which is, I mean, I'm pretty much maxed out with bows. And even I struggle at the Swamp. I have not yet attempted the Deep North, which is where the dragons are. And the plains I'm just starting to get into. There are creatures in the plains and the Deep North that will kill you in 1 or 2 swipes unless you've got like really high armor and have eaten a lot of food before you go in. That's the main advice: is before you go into combat, have food on you and eat food, because that, like I said earlier, it raises your health, it raises your stamina. But yeah, I find the combat to be good and balanced and not too clunky. Some of the times at the moment, like I say, it is early access, so sometimes you do get teleporting enemies, which can be a bit annoying. But you know, it's early access, so I'm sure that's going to get patched out.
Yeah. They got time, haven't they? Like,
yeah.
All the time in the world. I'm sure they've just funded their development for the next decade.
yeah.
It's definitely for a few years, that's for sure. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. It's glad I'm happy to hear that getting updated really fast, so that's good to hear.
Yeah. I'm out. If that was what I wanted to ask you, anything, Moody?
Is there anything that's not clicking with you? You're very positive on the game, but is there something? Yeah, if the answer's no, it's not a problem. Like you say, it's whatever.
The only thing I would say is the building is finicky. So lining stuff up can be really frustrating. There's because of the way it works, you have to be really careful with your mouse as to where you position stuff for it to actually line and snap up snap up together. So the amount of times I've placed another wall next to it, and realised they haven't connected, and one's slightly lower than the other one, or one slightly higher, and have to dismantle it.
I'm having such Animal Crossing flashbacks when you say that.
yeah. So I think they are patching that to make it easier, to make it the hitboxes of where you aim to line things up easier to hit. But other than that, I mean, even stuff like weapon degradation, which normally really frustrates me in games, is really easy to do in this one. All you need, it shows you in your hotbar how much health, if you like, your current weapon or tool has. And it's so much easier to repair them. You don't need any materials, which is another frustration for me. So if my hammer, for example, which is the tool that you use to build, breaks, and I'm like, great, I can't build anything now, and I can't get the wood to build anything. I just need to go to my workstation, which I've already built, which is what you need to build to first in order to build anything else.
Yeah.
Just hit one button, repair, and it repairs like that. And you don't need any materials for that, which is what I love. To upgrade it, you do, but to repair it, it's just one button press, which I think is absolutely key to that, because otherwise it gets really repetitive for having to go to grind materials just to repair for stuff. And the other thing I like talking about repairing is that if you've got, say, wooden flooring out in the open, which you can't do whilst you're building, it will degrade as it's open to the elements. And you do need to repair it. But again, you don't need any wood or any materials to repair it. You just equip your hammer, put it in repair mode, and click on it, and it repairs it. Which again, I think is good because it's not realistic as such, but it's got that realism feel.
You don't fuck about realistic. It's a video game, for God's sake. If I wanted realistic wall building mechanics, I'd go outside and build a wall.
Well, that's fantastic. It's great to hear you're having a great time with it.
Yeah, I love it. Love it.
Awesome. I laughed because I was like, you know, put the hammer in build mode. I just thought, as opposed to destructor mode.
Feel it.
Ding, ding.
I have done that once.
Flick a switch.
I have done that once with the hammer. I've pressed the middle button, which is the demolish mode, and I demolished the bottom. I built a wall, and I demolished the bottom layer.
And physics,
of course,
is a
physics
thing in this game.
Whole thing came down.
Did it come down on you?
Yes.
Just,
that's the other thing.
And you just go, ah.
That is the other thing, is if you're cutting down trees, be careful. Physics. If they land on you, you will die.
That sounds like a future highlight reel clip from one of us.
I think that there's a clip of on my channel somewhere of me cutting down a tree, which then fell on another tree, which then fell on another tree, and it was literally it was a domino effect. I basically deforested the entire area just with one swing of my axe.
Love it.
It's
cool.
Nice.
Valheim sounds cool.
Yes, it does.
It is.
Moody, you finished the game.
Yes. Finished Little Nightmares 2. I guess everyone heard from last week, but for you and me, we were very different on the game and everything like that. I was more positive, there's no doubt about it. But we were agreeable that combat mechanics sucked in this game. Why did they put it in there? That's insane. They were really, 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 really bad. But like I said, when we finished last episode, I was pretty close to the end. The ending's fantastic. The last level is amazing. It is so atmospheric, so intense, and the last couple of puzzles just to try and get to the end are really, really, really well done. And it's just finding that little unique pattern to get where the pot to solve that little puzzle, and you're there. But it's just like it gets vexing for you. I puzzles sometimes I hate them. I won't lie, I hate them, and I'm just like, why will you not work? And then just the littlest hint that gives you, I was like, wait, what did that just do? Why did I not notice that? Because you raged, Moody, because you were raging. But no, yeah, it is so well done. And I think I got the bad ending because something happened, made me go, that bastard type of thing. But yeah, because I've heard there's a few endings, so I'm just like, all right. But no, yeah, there was one more little combat mechanic, but just so fast, I was fine with it, and like it just was so good. The intense, the running of.
This is for all those times that I had to fight with a hammer.
But yeah, it is. The ending umped it up a bit for me and made me go, "This is really good. This is actually really good." But yeah, the combat mechanics aside, and I think it was really good, really good. And I was just like, "Yes, that was fantastic ending, really good ending." I was like, "Yeah, brilliant." So yeah, a Little Nightmares 2, listen, go and give it a go if you haven't given it a go yet. Yes, be a little bit warned for the combat mechanics. They are in it, but thankfully they aren't in it much. So if you can get past them fast enough, you should sail through this game brilliantly. I think I clocked in about 4 hours for the game. It's really good. It's beautiful. visually stunning. It's a very beautiful game. But yeah, the ending was just amazing. I was just like, damn.
Damn. Are you going to go back for one of the good
good.
endings?
Hmm?
Are you going to go back for one of the good endings?
Possibly. I'm thinking I'm going to buy it on PC because I played it on Xbox. So I think I'm going to buy it on PC. You can have a crack on it in there and everything like that. So,
cool.
But yeah, I had a really fun time with it.
Nice. I don't know. I would like if I was going to segue into shouting at Phil and Erica about Among Us, I wouldn't even know where to start. Because we did the Among Us podcast when we first started playing it, and we did like the review. As much as anything we do here is a review. And we've barely talked about the game since because we tend to try to stick to the new games that we've been playing. But last night's Among Us stream is something else for so many different reasons.
I streamed for the first time.
Rudy streamed for the
and
first
it went
time.
well. I've looked
very well.
I've looked at the highlights. There was no stutter in it. Worked really well. I was really happy.
Yeah, you had all your settings and stuff done good, and it's like I couldn't obviously sit in your stream because then I would know, right?
That's true.
But like when I was dead, I would pop in and chat and stuff, and it all seemed to be working fine. But you're a bastard.
I mean, she's not wrong.
You're too good at the game. What have I created?
You and Ravinical both.
Like,
the thing is, I'm learning a lot from him. It's him more.
I was going to say that's the thing. Ravinical's always been good at the game. Like, Moody always had a really easy tell when he was the imposter, like to pick up on, and now he doesn't have that tell anymore. And it's the worst. And then when you do figure out it's him, no one believes you.
Yes, that is true. That is true. But your anger's not really at me and Ryan.
No, it wasn't really. It wasn't. No, my anger was at the two people who live in the same house.
Who consistently
murdered me. Like every single match, one or the other would just kill me. Every time. And I thought, it's literally every match, right? And I thought, no, it's not literally every match. And then I watched back on the stream, and it was literally every match. One of those two killed me, apart from when I was the imposter, and I got to kill them. And unfortunately, all that did was open the floodgates.
A little bit, yeah.
Revenge killing. Yeah.
Like, I thought I was just, you know what? They'd both killed me once, and then I got the imposter, and I was like, you fucking bastards, I'm going to kill you, and I did. And then, I don't know, righteous fury befell me. I don't know what I've done to them, but they were just on a mission, and that mission was to make sure Amy was dead. I have a little bit of PTSD.
Just a little bit. The funny thing about this Saturday's Among Us that we just had was this was the first time that we literally went, okay, we need to take a break.
Yes,
after the part where you said, Ryan, Moody, one of you just kill me now. Okay,
my watch is telling me I need to breathe. I'm going to go.
Yeah. And then I'll go take a 2-minute break or something like that.
And then the first match back, like Sneaky Pete killed me, and you all voted for Russ, and I just went, you know what? And I just stood up and I walked away. Like, no, sorry, it wasn't. It was Phil, because in fact, it might have been both of them, I think. But what ended up happening was they ended up getting all the time they needed to win the match, because I was just floating around the conference table because I just went.
Straight, I just need to be away from this computer right now.
I just went downstairs. So my bad, I think, but at the same time, you all deserved it. Yeah, no, like, well played. Like, I got to hand it to them. Good game. Like, they had my life for the entire fucking night. like you talk about good content, right? And it's just like, that's fucking A-grade content. that was also normally at around about the 1.5 to maybe pushing 2 hours mark when we play Among Us. Tends to only be a few. There tends to be the regular hide and seek players, right? Like you get the 5 or 6 people who stick around long enough, and then we go, well, let's play hide and seek, and then we play hide and seek. Like last night, we went more than 2.5 hours. We could have gone longer if I hadn't have gone. It's a bit late.
Yeah,
like no one was stopping.
Yeah. No.
Like we talked about this in one start of the year podcast or another movie where we talked about like, are we still even playing Among Us at the end of the year? And it was like, we're playing it every single week. Like eventually it's going to get old. I feel like the reverse is happening. And
I understand where you come from there, and I do agree with you. Like I said in our private message ourselves, that I'm like, it's been a lifesaver for me personally. It's been a fantastic time for me just playing Among Us. It's like it's a very enjoyable time. Like I get excited. Like if I know it's Friday, I'm like, Saturday, we're almost Saturday. We definitely know what that means, type of thing. And they need to do. But I'll say this: they do need to update. We need that new map. We need that new map, or we need to rotate a little bit more on the maps. I think we stick on one map. I know we changed it. I think what helped last night because we changed it.
I generally tend to try and change halfway through. Like obviously, I'm going to try and guess when halfway through is. So that's why sometimes we don't, because it's like, oh, I've misjudged this, and everybody's leaving.
Yeah. Well, but also like everyone was staying, everyone was having a cracking time, everyone was just having a blast. Having a blast just murdering you, or having a blast winding you up. It was just brilliant. Like I love the part like where everyone does. She called for it. She found a dead body. Says I found this. I need to leave, or something like that. Comes back. What? Why did I get thrown off? I told you. I was doing everything. It's like, all right. This is how it is. Well, sorry.
These people are monsters.
We are monsters. We got out. It's all we're all monsters on that game.
It's all in good fun.
Really well done. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it is brilliant. I'm loving this game. Would I put it on 2020 Game of the Years? No, because it's not a 2020 game. That's how ill I am personally. But either way,
fourth official Words About Games. 4th place.
Yeah, I couldn't top Last of Us or Hades or Final Fantasy VII.
Hey, those are 3 amazing games.
That's true. That's true.
And it topped everything else.
I know it topped Yakuza, and you were loving that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a brilliant time.
Were you going to jump in there, April?
I was just saying, I think that's why we love it so much, is because it's so social. It really is just a conduit for us to basically rip each other, which is
pretty much.
Well, I think that's what's so good is that, because at the end of the day, there's no doubt we can get a little bit annoyed with each other. There's no doubt about this. And like, even I've held my hand up myself and thinking, I'm like, wait, I know I'm not in the post, and you voted me out just because you think I'm a little bit sus here? Fine, I'm not doing that. I hope the imposters beat you, and I'm not doing these things and everything like that, like someone did last night. But yeah, we don't hold it against us though. We're back into the next match, and we're like, so what happened last match? Oh, nothing.
Who cares, right?
Get back into it.
Exactly,
yeah, who cares?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's how great it is.
Yeah, it's like you can gaslight me to the point where I'm like having whatever the fuck stress related watch things pop up, but then in the next match it's fine. We're back to normal, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's
you're a glutton for punishment because they killed you a lot last night and you kept coming back in.
I kept coming back. Well, I said to Phil after we finished, when I said let's have one more match, what I was doing was I was trying to pray to the gods of Among Us, just give me the imposter, just give it to me, so I can just end this, and I'll just like pick Sneaky Pete up and in the middle of everybody and just rip them off.
The thing is, I think we would vote you off to say we understand that, Amy, and respect that.
I'll make a deal with you guys. You can vote me off. Just let me find Phil. before you vote me off. I'll report the body myself.
So he's here. He's here.
I found him.
But no, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I've talked about obviously multiplayer games a lot. I've talked about all sorts of games a lot in like the many years I've been doing this. I don't know why I looked at my watch to try and figure that out. And like one of the things like I love about multiplayer games, and I've talked about it so much, is like the emergent storytelling, which is like Among Us doesn't have a story, but like every Sunday. Every Monday, because I'll see Phil, who's a Lennius in Among Us. I'll see him every Monday, and we'll spend like 2 hours talking about Saturday night.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Among Us is such a big thing, because it's like we just retell all of the epic stories of all of the things that happened. The Ryan Moody double team combo is going to live in infamy for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, because you just said do it. We're just standing there over you, ready to slice it. And we mean right, I was just like, so who's gonna get this first? While I was laughing my ass off at the same time, and he got it.
I saw the clip. That was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I'd given up, and that was that, and that wasn't even the worst of it.
That's true.
Cool. Among Us is cool. Cool game. It's £3.99.
Definitely worth it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's literally coming to basically everything now. It's coming to Switch, and I believe in Xbox now.
It's on Switch. It's on. I think the only thing it's not on is PlayStation.
Oh, isn't it?
Right at the moment, because it's on Game Pass.
Oh no, I'm thinking Fall Guys.
Fall Guys is the opposite. Because Eric plays on Switch, so it's definitely on Switch, and PC, and it's free on mobile. And
that's the only thing I'm wanting. Like they need it. Like so, if it's on Switch. And it's on Xbox. That means there's controller support. Come on, PC guys. Come on, give us a controller support here.
Yeah.
I'm
getting used to the keys, but I'm just like, I know I could be a little bit more faster with a controller.
I'll be honest. Like once that PS4/PS5 version comes out, like I might double dip.
Yeah, you know what? I might have to have a look. I might have to look at it on Switch. I might just go,
I think it's on Game Pass, Moody. So I think you can get it on your Xbox.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
Because I remember the sizzle reel, and I remember I remember saying to you, I think after an Xbox show, or I think it might have been Game Awards last year, going, why aren't as many people talking about the fact that Among Us is in Game Pass? Because that seems like it's a big deal. But yeah, we should wrap it up there. We could probably talk for another hour just about Among Us. That's
true.
Gonna do it.
I can confirm Among Us is in Game Pass.
Oh, I might download it,
I feel like I need to give it
and then if I do badly on Saturday, I can blame it on the Xbox.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Sneaky.
If I do it on Xbox, I won't be able to stream next week.
I can stream it. I'll take the hit.
You'll take the reins, then.
I'll take the reins. That's going to do it for episode 20 of the Weekly Review. Thank you, Avril, for joining us to talk about Valheim, a game I didn't know anything about until now, just now. Where can everybody find you?
And twitch.tv/elfdaughtercrafts, all one word.
Was plural. I was right.
Absolutely.
Go check her out. She's an amazing streamer.
Thank you.
I think you were like my 3rd or 4th top watched streamer last year.
Thank you very much.
I got the breakdown email, but I didn't share it because my most top watched streamer was me. By some margin, because it turns out when you sit and you have your stream up on the side of the app, it counts all of those hours.
Same.
Cool, that's gonna do it. Let's get the fuck out of here. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, buddy.